Nostalgia is a powerful feeling that can greatly affect our opinions and even lifestyles. I have my own nostalgia for a lot of different things, but there are also plenty of other things that I somehow just missed out on. And every time I hear stories from other people who did grow up with those things, I can't help but wonder if and how they would appeal to someone on the outside looking in. This inspired me to come up with a series of videos entirely dedicated to taking movies, TV shows, and video games that a lot of people are nostalgic for, and looking at them from a non-nostalgic perspective. With that said, haldo, my name is Marc, and welcome to the first episode of Nostalgia Not Included. Oh, Sonic. Never have I had such a complicated relationship with a video game character until you came along. There was a time in my life where I thought that I was a Sonic fan, but that was only because there were YouTubers I was just getting into then that were actual Sonic fans, so I thought that liking the same things as them would make me cooler somehow? I did like some of the games, but all I really cared about were the toys and the music, especially if it was something by Crush 40. Nowadays, I've noticed a repeating pattern over the years where every time a good Sonic game comes out, there's always a bad Sonic game not too far behind to make me go, well, that was lame, back to Mario. It's pretty much the unpredictable and inconsistent quality of the games that keeps tarnishing my thoughts on the franchise. But there's still a dedicated fanbase out there full of people willing to look past the dark spots and focus on the good aspects, God bless you all. And ever since I started doing reviews, I've had a number of people request me to do something Sonic related. So let's forget about all the guns and werehogs and pointless Tamagotchi ripoffs that people consider to be the best part of the game for some reason, and go back to where it all began with the original games on the Sega Genesis. There's also Sonic CD, but I don't like that game, so I'm not gonna talk about it. I used to play Sonic 1, 2, and 3 every now and then through Sonic Mega Collection on the GameCube, but I didn't get very far with them because they admittedly never held my interest for very long. I was only 13 at the time, so my attention span wasn't exactly... Hey, my pizza's ready! Anyway, I think it's safe to assume these games are the ones that put Sonic's name on the map. I mean, it's not very hard to see why. He was marketed as the hippest, coolest dude around, and could literally run circles around Mario. Though most of that was just marketing, and clearly people bought into it, but were the games themselves anywhere near as cool as the title character? Well, if we're gonna start somewhere, it might as well be with Sonic 1. The story centers around a speedy blue hedgehog who's out to stop the evil Dr. Robotnik from using the 6 Chaos Emeralds to take over the world. 6, huh? Yep, we're in the first game, alright. Maybe they gave Alex Kidd the other one as a going-away present. As Sonic, it's your mission to blow through each stage, kill all the bad guys, free the little woodland critters trapped inside them, and take down Robotnik once and for all. At first glance, it's a standard 2D side-scroller, and honestly, it probably would be if it weren't for Sonic's speed. He's very, very fast, and there's quite a few moments where going through loops and rolling down slopes gets pretty exhilarating. However, once all the slower, more basic platforming comes into the picture, that's when you start to notice how heavy Sonic really is. Maybe it's the Super Mario World part of my brain being too used to how smoothly Mario handled in that game, but for me, I usually found it kinda hard to get Sonic to stop when I need him to. I also feel that the level design doesn't always seem to complement Sonic's controls. Some stages, like Green Hill Zone and Spring Yard Zone, manage to find the right balance between emphasizing speed and exploration, and some focusing on either one or the other do it perfectly fine. Then there are stages like Marble Zone and Scrap Brain Zone that awkwardly mesh the two gameplay styles together, and Labyrinth Zone is just a boring slog, except when you hear the drowning music, and I wish it would stop giving me so much anxiety. The journey isn't totally bad because power-ups are abundant. Sometimes you'll come across boxes that give you temporary invincibility, extra lives, and some tasty golden rings, which you can also find scattered out in the open. Rings are basically what keep Sonic alive, the modern-day equivalent being memes. When Sonic takes a hit without rings, he'll lose a life and respawn from the last checkpoint. Having any number of rings on him will give him a little more endurance, but he'll lose them if he takes any damage. Thankfully, they just bounce around for a little bit, so under the right circumstances, you should be able to get some of them back. But what about the Chaos Emeralds? Well, unlike future Sonic games, they really don't affect the gameplay that much. All they give you is a different ending. But if you really want to go after those multicolored diamonds, all you have to do is get to the end of the level with over 50 rings. This will make a giant ring appear behind the exit sign, and jumping into it will transport you to an extremely trippy-looking special stage. The area is constantly rotating, and getting the Chaos Emerald is a matter of jumping and falling around until you reach it. You'd think with this being a Sonic game, going after the Chaos Emeralds, as inconsequential as they are, would be the game's biggest source of challenge. Actually, the real most difficult thing about the first Sonic the Hedgehog, from my experience, is maintaining the patience needed to get through the main adventure. It starts out serviceable and isn't very long, you can get away with beating it in under an hour or two, but as you get closer to the end, it becomes increasingly strenuous and needlessly frustrating. The platforming gets stale, level design starts feeling cheap, collision detection ceases to exist. Obstacles send you flying in the opposite direction of where you're trying to go. Alright, who's the guy that thought it would be a good idea to put these springs here? Every stage has these in some form, and they always show up at the most annoying possible times. Scrap Brain has to be the worst, particularly Act 3. Aside from it being just Labyrinth Zone with a different coat of paint, it also has the most obnoxious enemy placement in the entire game. It doesn't feel like a gradual increase in difficulty, it feels like the game is punishing you for not playing it the way it wants you to. To its credit, Sonic 1 does at least have some decent presentation. The graphics are vibrant and colorful, stages have their own distinct set pieces, and the way Sonic gets impatient with the player when they leave him idle for a few seconds? Wonderful. And, of course, the music is fantastic. It was composed by Masato Nakamura of the band Dreams Come True, and the style and flavor he brings to it gave us some of the best tunes ever composed for a video game, let alone a Sonic game. But while the original Sonic the Hedgehog has its merits, this to me is more of a case where the marketing was better than the actual product. I can see how it caught on. Mario was the biggest name in gaming at the time, and Sonic was something different and exciting. He was faster, he was cooler, he was being pushed to an absurd degree, and Sega made sure everyone around the world knew his name. But Mario only got so big because his games were superb. Sonic got big because Sega essentially shoved him down our throats. They pushed the character more than the game he was starring in. Not to say they didn't put any effort into the game, they clearly did. I just don't think it's that great. Sonic 2, on the other hand, is a completely different story. Robotnik is at it again, and now it's up to Sonic and his new sidekick Tails to take him down once and for all for the second time. If I was a kid growing up in the early 90s, this would have been the game to convert me to Sonicism. I'm not sure how that joke is gonna land. Sonic already has a weird thing about religion. What I mean to say is that compared to the first game, Sonic 2 is far superior in just about every way. Sonic is much more fun to control. He's a lot lighter and less sluggish than before. He also has a new spin dash, allowing him to charge up his speed and take off in an instant, which makes him even more fun to play with. You have Tails with you by default, but unfortunately he doesn't really do anything. He can't even fly when you play as him separately, and for some reason he can't seem to stop jumping at times. Tails, I'm sure you're having a good time there, but please, there's nothing worth getting excited about. Please just stop. The level design is more inventive, better tailored to Sonic's controls, and blends speed and exploration much more seamlessly. Enemies and obstacles appear at less annoying increments as well, so no more outward-facing springs to throw off your groove. But I'm not sure what to make of this. Every single level has something fun and interesting about them, making even some of the lesser stages worth going through. Metropolis Zone still has an awesome aesthetic despite it having some of the worst enemy placement in the game. Wing Fortress Zone is still a thrilling penultimate level, even if it's a little light on substance. Sky Chase Zone is still pretty dull, actually, but the final level is anything but. While the first game ended on a pretty anticlimactic note, this one ends with you having to fight Mecha Sonic and the Death Egg robot back to back with no rings whatsoever. Yikes. Not even a shiatsu massage courtesy of Goro can relieve me of this much tension. In fact, that would probably kill me. Special stages and Chaos Emeralds return, but these are all implemented differently. Now, when you pass through a checkpoint with over 50 rings, some little sparkles will appear above it. Jumping into them takes you to one of the game's new special stages, where you and Tails run down a half-pipe structure collecting rings while avoiding obstacles. Getting the Chaos Emerald now requires you to have a certain number of rings on you at certain points in the stage, and if you don't have enough rings, it'll tell you just that and take you back to the main game. This is where the game's biggest source of challenge comes from, as the special stages get harder and harder as you obtain more of the emeralds. I've had to play through some of these multiple times just to get the patterns down and make sure Tails doesn't screw anything up for me. Tails, you're a fox. Don't you have like a wave dash or something? But that only makes it more rewarding once you manage to get all the emeralds, because now they actually give you something. Jumping at any time with over 50 rings turns you into Supersonic, who's faster, can jump higher, and is practically invincible. He also eats up rings faster than a Game Gear goes through AA batteries. Your ring count drops by 1 every second, and once they're all gone, you turn back to normal. As awesome as Supersonic is, he's also pretty unstable. His momentum is ridiculous, and he's pretty jittery too, so it's kinda hard to be precise with him. And even with all his power, he still can't survive the terror that is the pit in Mystic Cave Zone. Yeah, just kinda chilling here. Just waiting for my inevitable death. It's bound to happen at some point. So, did you see the Oscars this past weekend, or whenever it was? I'm really glad Parasite got the best picture. Oh, no, I'm dead. Okay. Nevertheless, Supersonic's inclusion only helps add to the quality of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and I'm happy to say it's even better than I gave it credit for. It fixes every issue I had with the first game. Masato Nakamura delivers an even funkier and better soundtrack, with Casino Night Zone's theme being my favorite, and it gives the player more freedom to go through it however they want. Sonic 2 is a legitimately great game, and probably my favorite Sonic game of all time. That just leaves us with Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles. Now, these were originally supposed to be one game, but due to its massive scope, concerns over the deadline, and a marketing push from McDonald's, it was split into two. Sonic 3 came out in February 1994, and Sonic and Knuckles came out a few months later, meaning Sega unintentionally pioneered releasing incomplete games and putting the rest out later. Thanks, guys. But Sonic & Knuckles also has a lock-on chip at the top of the cartridge, so you can plug in Sonic 3 to get the game in its entirety. Sonic and Tails arrive on the mysterious floating Angel Island to locate Dr. Robotnik after his space station, the Death Egg, crashed there upon his defeat at the end of Sonic 2. Right from the first level, we're introduced to Knuckles the Echidna, who repeatedly shows up to give you a hard time because Robotnik fooled him into thinking Sonic was coming to steal something called the Master Emerald. But after knocking some sense into this spiky red knucklehead in Hidden Palace Zone, oh no, Robotnik steals the Master Emerald for himself. Big shock, causing Angel Island to fall into the ocean. Now it's our mission to retrieve it along with the Chaos Emeralds, get Angel Island back into the sky, and take down Robotnik once and for all for the third time. And the fourth time. So, Sonic 3 and Knuckles is about triple the size of the first two games combined. There are more levels, more secrets, more power-ups, more bosses, more characters, and save files. That's nice. Sonic is about the same as he was before, only now he has an insta-shield that he can use to more easily attack enemies in the air. He also apparently has the power to defy physics in ways that could make even Sonic 4 jealous. Yeah, that's right, Sonic, you keep floating upside down and pushing that thing. Tails and Knuckles are both playable too, serving as extensions of Sonic since they can run as fast as him and also do the spin dash. Tails is pretty much the easy mode since he can actually fly now. They fly now! And Knuckles can glide through the air, climb up walls, and take his own pathways by breaking through certain boundaries, complete with his own boss fights. Sonic and friends all have access to the Elemental Shields, special power-ups that protect them from different elemental hazards and also give them unique abilities. The Bubble Shield helps you breathe underwater and lets you do a bouncy bounce. The Flame Shield protects you from fire-based obstacles and lets you dash in midair. And the lightning shield protects you from electricity, lets you double jump, and even draws in rings. That's handy. Returning from Sonic 2 is the ability to jump into sparkly checkpoints, only now they take you to these small little bonus stages that could earn you some extra lives and power-ups, if I knew how some of them worked. As for emerald hunting, that's done by jumping into giant rings spread throughout each stage. These take you to blue sphere levels, where you have to clear a certain number of blue spheres to obtain a Chaos Emerald. I'm kinda mixed about these sections. It's a nice change of pace from the first two games, and I like how circling blue spheres turns them into rings. I even managed to get all the rings in a few levels. But you run automatically, and you gradually get faster the more time you spend in each stage. And that, combined with the often garish color palettes, can usually result in headaches.
You give me headaches!
I was genuinely a bit overwhelmed at just how much Sonic 3 and Knuckles had to throw at me, and occasionally it got to a point where it felt less like an upside and more like a downside. The levels are big, but some can come off as a little too big, and others are just downright tedious, like Hydro City, Carnival Night, and Sandopolis. The level design doesn't come close to Sonic 1 levels of annoying, but you can definitely tell the team from Sonic 2 had no part in this. The inconveniently placed springs are back, people, and Marble Garden is full of them. I just want to go forward. I do like how the game is structured. Every level has 2 acts each, with a mini-boss at the end of the first, and a fight with Robotnik at the end of the second. Once you're done with Act 1, you're put straight into Act 2. Then after finishing the second act, a cutscene plays that moves the story forward and swimmingly transitions into the next stage. The interconnectivity is impeccable, and it gives the game an impressive sense of scope. So even if parts of the adventure feel repetitive and exasperating at times, I appreciate the effort that went into making it possible. Things don't really get interesting until we get to Mushroom Hill Zone, where Sonic and Knuckles begins. After collecting all the Chaos Emeralds, you can now go after the Super Emeralds. These can be obtained in the same manner as the Chaos Emeralds, jumping into giant rings and clearing the Blue Sphere levels, and getting them all will let you turn into Hyper Sonic. Imagine Super Sonic with the Infinity Gauntlet and the Iron Gauntlet in 2 sets of Infinity Stones. And seizure-inducing colors. He's faster, he can wipe out enemies on the screen, and he can survive underwater. Only problem is, he and Super Sonic still carry a little too much momentum when jumping, and this made stages with outward-facing springs just a little annoying.
He's not gonna quit bouncing, tell you that.
Sonic 3 and Knuckles is certainly the most ambitious of the classic Sonic games, and I have to applaud it for all the new content it brings to the table and what it sets out to do. But while I can definitely put this over Sonic 1, I surprisingly didn't find myself enjoying it as much as Sonic 2. I like the addition of Tails and Knuckles, the Elemental Shields, and the Super Emeralds, and once again, the music is phenomenal. Ice Cap Zone's theme is criminally overlooked, I swear. But the game as a whole kind of feels like it wants to have its cake and eat 4 of them. Sonic 2 gave you just the right amount of content to make it satisfying and worth your while. Sonic 3 and Knuckles definitely has more to offer, but for me, the amount of stuff packed in sorta gets in the way here and there. That's not to undermine the game's quality at all, because I still think it's really good. I just like Sonic 2 a little more. We cool?
Yeah, we cool.
Cool. So, do the classic Sonic games hold up, or are they better left in the past? Well, personally, I didn't like the first one all that much, but I really got a kick out of Sonic 2, and I had an okay time with Sonic 3. I can see how they would hold a lot of nostalgic value for a lot of people. These are part of the reason why the Sonic fandom is still going strong today. And from the time I've spent with them, I'd say these games, with the exception of Sonic 1, still hold up. And that's it for the first episode of Nostalgia Not Included. I hope I didn't ruin anyone's childhoods or anything, because that's not what I'm here to do. I'm just giving opinions. But if you'd like to share some of your personal history with these or any other Sonic games, feel free to put them in the comments below. And if there are any other games, movies, or TV shows you remember fondly that you'd like to see me cover on this show, you can put them in the comments as well, and I just might do them in the future. I'd also like to give a shout out to my patrons, whose names are scrolling across the screen, along with my superstar supporters, Henry Newman, Jake Winans, and Rachel Rodriguez. You guys are awesome. I don't know what I would do without you, and I really appreciate the support. Links to my social media and Discord server are in the description. Thanks again for watching, and be sure to stay subscribed so you can tune in to more random videos like this. I'm gonna drink some water because my voice is almost gone. So, until next time, this is Mark, bidding you all a smashing farewell. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye!